Well, this is the 99th episode of Downtime Podcast. You're here with Jeremy and Alyssa. Jeremy, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing all right now. There's quite, looking at the list, a lot of things happened this week in the video game world.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of things that I want to talk about and maybe get your opinion on. Some things from last week, but mostly from this week.
Yeah. And for one, PlayStation 5 announced what's going to be on PlayStation 5. So
yeah,
and that was a bit surprising that they even revealed stuff so early.
The biggest one for me was GTA 6.
Yes, I know. Can you imagine like the possibility that like it took 6 years it took 5.5, 6 years for Rockstar to come out with anything for their franchises of Red Dead and GTA, and then just like that, within 2 years you're gonna get GTA and you're gonna get Red Dead.
It's crazy.
Which is insane.
You know, Rockstar is definitely a company that works their employees to the bone, and they want to push out good quality products, and they always do consistently. So, I mean, I knew that.
Well, they were probably working on GTA at the same time as Red Dead 2, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, even before that, I think they've been working on GTA 6 for a long time, because GTA 5 came out in 2013. And so, yeah. I mean, that game has lasted so long. People still play it to this day because of all the online content. Like, the online content paid for itself with all the kids buying their shark cards, and the shark cards gave you in-game money. And so these kids would just like feel the economy of the online portion of the game, and they didn't need to make a single player aspect to it, because they're like, what's the point in doing that when you could just, make so much money off of the multiplayer part, which is a great way to do it. And I hope that whenever GTA 6 is, and whenever it comes out, it'll live up to that, because how long has it been? 6 years since GTA 5 came out? So,
6 years.
It's a long time for, spaces between GTA games. But, of course, Red Dead took priority.
Yeah. I wonder how many protagonists are going to be in this one.
Yeah, I wonder that too.
If it's going to take on the format of multiple main characters when they had 3 people, or if they're going to go back to 1, or if they're going to add more people, or who knows, add or subtraction. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I'd love to see a new city aside from New York or Los Angeles. That's for sure.
They kind of hinted it would be Miami again, but I don't want to go back to Vice City. I kind of want to go to somewhere new, because I just want to see different, maybe country or a different state. But then they always go back to things that people will play, because they know, like, oh, it's here again. I want to play that in HD.
I definitely wouldn't mind Vice City, especially since Vice City has been out a while ago, and I think if you do Vice City and say Cuba, for example, that has a lot of promise.
Right.
Or you do Vice City and just like another Florida city.
Yeah, I'm down.
And then you can have the real Florida man. Which is what we've been waiting for this entire time for Grand Theft Auto. Clearly, the ultimate Florida man.
It's the only reason why we play GTA.
Exactly. Trevor would be a Florida man, I think.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, he'd definitely be a Florida man. Michael would be more of like a Florida man on like the racist side, but like I can imagine Michael being a Florida man who is the one calling the cops on people, and then people record them calling the cops, and then they're made into the meme themselves. Right. That type of guy. Aside from just the random stuff announced from PlayStation, I'm kind of surprised that backwards compatibility is real.
Yeah.
It's good. It's gonna be a thing.
I think because the PS4 did so well this last generation, they're like, we're just gonna keep supporting it. But I do think that this first iteration model is gonna support it, and then after that, they're just gonna not support it for whatever reason, which makes sense because they did that with the PS3. It's like, oh, this first model will support PS2 games. Everyone was like, this is awesome. And then later iterations of the PS3 came out, and they're like, okay, this one doesn't play PS2 games. And everyone's like, oh, okay. They're like, yeah, just deal with it. And everyone's like, okay. And so people dealt with it. The PS4 comes out, no backwards compatibility. Everyone's like, what the hell? Even I was like, wow, what the hell, dude?
It's an excellent marketing strategy, though. And I'm telling, like, as my experience being a PlayStation owner, I usually take about 2 to 3 years to get the next console because I'm waiting for the game that I want to play on PlayStation. And, there's no point in me playing that next console because I'm still going to be playing games of the previous generation. And now they're telling you, hey, well, you can just play your old games right now. So, like, to the mind, I can understand how that gives more motivation for a player to just get the PlayStation right at launch, because then you know for a fact you can play your old games. And let's be real, most likely there's going to be a PlayStation VR that's like linked or paired up with the PlayStation on launch as well. So it's kind of there's more incentive for sure, which Sony has to go for. I just wonder what the price is going to be. But I think they said that, they made some vague line that the price is going to be good, but we don't know what that means. The current PlayStation, when it was being bundled with Spider-Man, was $299. And what was the original price of PlayStation when it launched? PS4, I mean. Was it $399?
$399.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's $399, and then you got this new console with whatever 8K bullshit that it says it has, or ray tracing, which whatever.
So real quick, going back to your first comment, PSVR, the current headset, will be compatible with the PS5. So there is already a headset coming out for it. Or I'm sorry, there is a headset that's already compatible, but they said that there's a future one coming out for it. Some really quick specs to hone in on your third or fourth comment. So it'll have an 8-core AMD CPU. Okay. I mean, I think the PS4 also has AMD components inside of it. It won't come out this year. So maybe 2020, maybe 2021. We don't know yet, but they will definitely release a model at E3 this year, or at least something leading up to E3. Because Sony won't be there. And there's going to be an internal storage that is an SSD based solid state drive. So that means it'll potentially make games 19 times faster, which is insane.
Yes.
So
I know.
We'll see.
That's pretty impressive.
Like exactly what kind of SSD that will be, we will have to find out, because this is one that doesn't exist for consumer markets yet. Like regular SSDs, like the one I'm running in my computer at home, is pretty fast, I'd say. And I like it a lot, and it does load everything quickly. But for this one to load things faster than that, like, holy crap. So it seems like Sony is developing an internal SSD or working with an outside party to make this happen. And again, we'll just see what happens when it comes out. It will have a disk drive, which is awesome. Everyone thought that, with the release of the Xbox One all-digital console, that, every future console won't have a disk drive, including...
Oh, no. PlayStation for sure for a PS5 was going to have a disk
drive.
Again,
Japanese market, physical media. Enough said. And so the whole ray tracing thing, I actually didn't know what that was until I looked it up, and it's so...
I had to fucking Wikipedia that
honestly,
shit.
like, what it
and
is...
I still don't understand what it means.
This is what it is, and I think it's cool, but I don't think it's necessary. Like, it's a really cool detail, but at its base level, ray tracing is basically like the reflection in the puddle or a reflection of a building in the game in real time. So someone was comparing Battlefield 5's ray tracing, and if you look at a puddle, you can see the reflection of the building across from it, or basically the reflection of whatever's in the puddle was being shown in the puddle in real time in the game. And I was like, okay, if this is ray tracing, then I really don't need it right now. Like, it looks pretty, and I'm sure that in the future, when systems and everything will make ray tracing a normalized thing, it'll look cool and it'll be so normal that no one will recognize it or notice it. But right now, I'm like, I don't need 8K, I don't need 4K, I don't even need ray tracing. Like, just let me play the game well.
I think the biggest thing with the whole ray tracing, like graphics card, is if you don't even have like an 8K TV, then this doesn't really matter at all.
Here's the other thing too. It says it will support 8K displays, but it doesn't necessarily output 8K graphics. So it'll probably be native 4K, but it'll support 8K displays.
Mm-hmm.
So it won't output any 8K video. It'll only support the display ratio, which is kind of interesting because it's like upscaling, but it's still a lower resolution. I don't know. So
congrats. More shadows.
Exactly. And I don't even have a 4K TV, so
I don't have a 4K TV, and my TV's perfectly fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I play games on it, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Ray tracing, it's one of those. Ray tracing is a humble brag, I think.
It's like owning an 8K TV. It's like, oh, I have it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, what do you watch on it? Like, oh, YouTube videos. I'm like, okay, what YouTube videos?
I know. It's like, what do you watch on it? The Office? The fuck are you doing?
The Office isn't even 8K or 4K. It's not even 4K.
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that it exists and it's really cool, but
it's a flex.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's a money flex. Like, okay, I can show 8K graphics on my TV. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yo, 1080p is totally fine with me right now.
Yeah.
If I want to see 8K or 4K, I'll go to the movie.
Do you want to flex though, listeners? That's the real question you have to ask yourself before you buy the PlayStation 5.
Are you going to get it on day one, Alyssa?
So with what I said earlier, it is actually more tempting to buy it on day one if it's backwards compatible, but I want to see what the price in the bundle is, because if the price in the bundle is very reasonable, like it's like $3.99 and the bundle is like legit and backwards compatible, and I could just play save my new games on the solid state, then it's like, that is actually, that's not bad. At the same time, I'm a person who's very practical, and if I don't have a game on launch, then I'm just not, I don't particularly care to get it. But the flex to play PlayStation 4 on it is like it's it's not necessary. It's not a necessary thing at all. It's more just like that's kind of convenient.
Yeah, no, I feel it. And that's kind of my sense too, is like, there has to be something really enticing for me to get it on day one. Like, I am really debating hard about it.
If I got it for $3.99 or even for $4.50, if you got it for $4.50 and it came with a game, with whatever game it comes with, and it comes with the PlayStation VR, I actually think that's worth it.
Yeah, at that point, I would probably get it.
I would get it. Yeah, totally. I would get it too.
Yeah, I mean, I still have a Generation 1 PS4, and I love it. I'm never going to trade it in.
Oh, yeah, I'm keeping mine forever. Technically, mine's a Generation 1 too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still a really good console. I mean, I'm talking like it's already over, but I mean, there's still games coming out for it. Judgment's coming out this summer. Maybe potentially a new Yakuza game's coming out.
Oh yeah. I think PlayStation's gonna be 2021 though. I don't think it's 2020 in my opinion.
I don't think it's gonna be 2020 either. I think they're gonna live it out until 2021.
Yeah, I think it's 2021, but it will be early 2021.
After the holiday season?
Yeah, no, I want to say like March is my guess. Because it's weird because it's like if you have it during the holiday season, then you might as well just have the new PlayStation during the holiday season.
Usually,
yeah. But you have to, if you don't have it during the holiday season, you have to kind of put it a few months away before you piss people off.
Yeah, because they already spent all their money somewhere else.
Exactly. That's why I predict March. Obscure month, but it is a little bit later after Christmas.
No, that makes sense.
And speaking of Judgment, they came out with a new model and new voice for the Pierre Taki, who was replaced as one of the characters.
Yeah. Honestly, it really doesn't look like him. And I could see that they kind of just like morphed the face a little bit to change it so it doesn't look like him. Or maybe they just scanned a whole other actor. I really miss the old one though. I think the old one looks like more like a Yakuza boss.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I think the new actor, the new character model, it looks perfectly fine, but the older character model, for one, kind of looks older, looks more like a mob boss, and it's something. So this is gonna, okay, this is gonna sound kind of weird. So old Hamura looks like the boss, and new Hamura looks like a lackey.
Oh yeah, no, new Hamura looks more like NPC, like a regular random background NPC.
Yeah. So those are my thoughts. It's gonna be perfectly fine. But
yeah. It'll be totally fine. But I'm just like, I don't know. I just hope that, I don't know what to say. I feel like they just should have kept that model, but for publicity reasons they had to remove it, which makes sense.
So now I'm even more confused because they wasted no time replacing him at all. So does that mean that the game that comes out for global in August is going to be already replaced? I don't know if CD discs have already been printed out or created. But
they're probably going to have a day one patch.
Wait, what'd you say?
They're probably going to have a day one patch.
You see, that was initially what I thought. I thought there was just going to be a patch and then, just got to be sly to avoid it. But the fact that they're already releasing all this stuff is confusing me, as if they're getting ready to just outright replace it in time for the global release.
That's also a definite possibility.
Yeah, it's pretty true. Not surprised.
Yeah, and that's just how it is,
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's still kind of sad that this happened, on both parties, for both Sony, well, technically Ryuga Gotoku Studio, but also the actor Pierre Taki. But again, I think this is for the better. We still will have the same exact experience. You're just missing, what was supposed to be an important piece from an important actor. But now I guess whoever this new guy is, I guess they're just like, okay, this guy's gonna do everything that old guy did, so it's fine. And for the most part, if you bought Judgment, or if you're planning to buy Judgment and you don't know any about any of this, you're not going to even notice a difference. And most of the people that buy Judgment are probably fans of the Yakuza series, and they don't really pay attention to the news. Like, not everyone reads news or Japanese news or international news. So for the general audience, they really don't care about that. They're like, oh, just one dude to the next dude. It's all good.
Sega should probably lay low or lay off of doing character models that are directly related to the actor next time.
That's like one of their staples. So
I know.
Yeah, you can't really stop doing that, which makes sense.
Or be more careful. I don't know, more creative with it too.
Yeah. Oh well. Going back to console releases, Microsoft announced the Xbox One All Digital Edition, which is basically an Xbox One without the disc drive.
Yep. And I think it was one of those things where it was like said a few weeks ago or maybe 2 months ago, because I remember we were talking about it, but now it's like officially announced.
Yep. And honestly, like there's just no disc drive. You just can't play physical games. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, this is why we talked about it, because you were contemplating getting it for Halo, but Halo is going to come out on Steam anyways, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Exactly. Now I'm just like, all right, I don't have to spend money like $300 on an Xbox anymore. I'm just going to buy it on Steam. And honestly, I prefer Halo on Steam. So, hey, I mean, it worked out.
Hey, this is probably preparing people though for whatever the announcement will be for the upcoming next gen Xbox, I think.
The next box.
The next box already moving in the direction it wants to. And then I think with digital this is a random question, but
sure.
Do you think that a parent is more likely to get their kid a console that is digital or get their kid a console that is physical? Because I think digital, right? Because parents don't have to worry about, getting a physical copy of the game, and then you can just download everything.
It really depends on the parent and I guess the mindset that they have and maybe the generation that they're from. Because as we get older and we become parents, we're going to be like, all right, digital's easier. We already know how this works because we've been playing games for a long time. But if you look at the older generation who's having kids, they're kind of like, from the 80s, maybe from the 70s that are having kids now. And yes, they've played some video games, but maybe to them, physical media is still better than digital media, which totally makes sense to them. It's like, oh, I want my kid to play a disc, even though the game downloads on the system, which maybe they do or don't realize. But you still need the disc to play it. But maybe to them, like physically holding and buying a disc for their kid seems a little bit better than like showing them on the screen, like, oh, hey, I bought you this game. Maybe some kids prefer that. Maybe some kids prefer physically opening a disc and like looking at the box. And it really depends on the person and the people involved. But I can see where you're saying, Alyssa, where it's easier for the parents to be like, oh, hey, I filled this Xbox with video games for you. They're all downloaded. Just click on it and play. Whereas some kids might be like, I want to take the disc out, or I want to, change discs or whatever, like it really depends. It really, really depends.
Yeah, it's pretty true, especially because video game culture is becoming more prevalent. A lot of parents are trying to preserve the retro gaming console, and the disc drive is going to be a retro thing in the near future.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But definitely agree with your points.
Yeah, and as an adult now, maybe I'm speaking for you as well, Lisa, but for us it's just like we could go either way.
Yeah.
Like if someone gave me a physical version of a game, I'll be like, "Oh, great. Like this is cool." Or if they send it to me digitally, well, like which usually my brother does every birthday. He just sends me a game on Steam. I'm like, "Okay, like I wasn't planning to buy this game physically anyways, or maybe there's no physical release of it." So I'm just like, "Okay, this is fine." Like for example, my brother got me a Hat in Time, which I mentioned before, and I was either going to buy it digitally on PS4, physically on PS4. I think there's a physical version, I'm not sure. Or just get it on Steam. And then my brother just got it on Steam. I'm like, all right, my choice is made.
When you have your own space and there's a lot of room, you're more willing to shell out a little bit to have physical. But if you're in a more compact space, then in a lot of ways, digital is the most ideal.
Yeah, no, I totally believe it. Yeah, I just feel like as an adult, maybe if you don't want to have too much space, or if you want to like clear your space, then you'll go all digital. For me, like I'm looking at my room now, like of course for GameCube games, you can only buy physical versions. And so I've dedicated a whole section of my shelf to just GameCube games. And that's how it is.
We talk about this all the times because of the new console coming out, but it's just, and we went from kind of direct competitors to now the three major console companies are going in three completely different directions to cater three different types of people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where we'll be at in the gaming sphere when you and I become parents, Alyssa, or at least when we get older and become like our parents' age or maybe a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Who knows,
Yeah.
what gaming will be like then.
I know.
Or if we'll still have all the games that we have now. Speaking of retro, Sega announced the Sega Genesis Mini.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and there's an astounding 40 games on it, and they've already released 20, and there's 20 more to go, and they're releasing them in like batches of 10. So there's two more
awesome.
there's two more batches to come. So some classics like Altered Beast, Sonic the Hedgehog 1, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 are on there, Contra's on there. Yeah, it's really cool to see that there's a bunch of games on this little tiny system, and this is actually one that I might buy. I seriously might get this one. It's $80 though. I'm not ready to shell out $80 when the other two were like $50 or $40.
Yeah,
the Nintendo ones.
All the retro consoles are about that price though.
Yeah.
So at least it's consistent.
Yeah, no, totally. And the reason why I'd buy this one over the other two is this one I feel like has a stronger memory for me. As a kid growing up playing Genesis games, I didn't have as many Genesis games as I did NES games, but most of the NES games I grew up playing are not on the NES Classic, and I'm like, well, what's the point? And the SNES Classic, I never grew up playing that at all, so I'm like, why would I get this if I don't have a connection to it? Because these systems are based on nostalgia, so if you feel nostalgic about it, then okay, cool. Of course, they're meant for new audiences, but for me, I'm just like, all right, I'm past this generation, like, I need to get something that I am familiar with, or something that I want to familiarize myself with. I just feel like the SNES didn't do it for me, and the NES I'm just like, it'll always be there. Like I have an actual version of it. Why would I relish the memories of playing the new one when I can just play the old one? But again, I can't do it because
totally.
The new one I can't do it because my TV just doesn't accept the cables. But that's another story.
Yeah.
I am interested.
I say go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in it. If they ever make an N64 classic, I'll probably pick that up because I like that console a lot too.
Oh, that's coming in the future. Like people are just now waiting for it. It's gonna happen. There's no way it's not gonna happen.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that people are clamoring for that, and then of course after that will be the GameCube one, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get the GameCube one for sure. Getting the GameCube one when that's announced.
Yes.
So yeah, Sega announced that Sega Genesis mini console that's coming out, I believe, September of this year.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's pretty cool.
On the topic of retro, there's going to be a new remake coming out.
13?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
And then I'm kind of surprised. I'm just surprised that people remember that game. It's enough to make a remake for it.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was one of those things where I saw it and I was like, "Oh, cool. Wow.
Yeah.
This game? I guess."
Who was the David Duchovny, I think, was a voice in the game?
Yeah.
The X-Files guy?
Yes.
Okay. And it's good that you brought that up. And actually, Lisa, I wasn't going to do it prior to this podcast because we kind of talked about it, but I actually kind of want to do Cube Corner now. And there's a reason.
Are you going to do it on?
Yeah, I want to do it on 13. I want to do it on 13. And so this is going to be a weird Cube Corner for two ways. The first one, it might come as a real big shocker. I never played the single player part of 13, but I am really familiar with the game itself. Because now this is kind of going out of bounds of what Cube Corner is about, but I do want to talk about it because I do own it on GameCube and I will play the single player story. But I'm familiar with Cube Corner. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm familiar with 13. I'm tired. Sorry. I don't know why I said Cube Corner. I'm familiar with 13 because my cousin had a modded Xbox, and I mentioned this before. He had like modded Halo maps and stuff.
This is not Cube Corner.
It's not. It's not. But okay. But I can't talk about it unless I played it, and I need to play it first. But I do want to talk about 13 because there's two reasons why, and one is because I own it on GameCube and I'm gonna play the single player. Two, my cousin's Xbox had the multiplayer aspect of it, and we just played the shit out of that. And when I bought it on GameCube, I was like, "Hey, Jordan, my brother," I was like, "Hey, come out and we'll go play multiplayer." So we played like 2 hours of like 13 multiplayer on GameCube, and we've never played on any other map. What we do is we played like the USS whatever. There's like a battleship level where you're fighting on this like aircraft carrier, but you never really go on top of the aircraft carrier. You're always inside of it. And so each base, there's a section where you spawn. There's armor, there's helmets, and there's guns around you. Of course, like when you start on almost any multiplayer map. But there's a tiny vent on the second floor of the spawn area, and you can hide in there. And there's a little corner in the back where you could just sit there because it's kind of like Z-shaped. You could sit in the back and then just wait for the enemy team to come get you, and then we would just sit there for like, I don't know, like 2 minutes until the enemy team would come, and they would crawl into the vent, and they had all their guns, and we would shoot them, like do headshots and stuff while they crawled in the vent, because it took a while for them to stop and turn around and aim at us. But sometimes the NPCs will have the rocket launcher in the vent, and when they would shoot it, they would kill all of us at once. And so it was kind of like a cat and mouse game where we would just like sit in the vent and wait, and then kill them, and then wait some more, and then they would come and kill them, and then when we run out of ammo, we would all go out and collect ammo and then run quickly back inside the hole.
Yes.
So my brother and I did that for at least like 2 hours, just like reliving those memories, and it's still pretty fun. Again, I'm not too familiar with the single player, not really with the multiplayer as a whole. Just one specific level, how many bots you could set, what difficulty the bots you could set, where the ammo caches are on the warship level, and that's it. Like that's all of my 13 knowledge.
That's all good.
Yeah.
I don't remember it too well because I watched my cousin play it as well, actually.
Perfect.
I do remember it being a good game, or at least an entertaining game, because this isn't the type of game that I would normally play. So that's why I don't remember too many of the details. I'm just more shocked that we're actually getting a remake of it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited. If it doesn't have vents or multiplayer, I'm not going to buy it.
Not too many details yet, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So I need to play it on single player first on the GameCube, and then I will
get it on. You're probably getting it on Switch, right?
Maybe, but. Probably
it's coming on PC, I think. Well, it's technically coming on everything.
I'm actually probably gonna get it on PS4 because I have 4 controllers, like full controllers for the PS4, and if I'm gonna play a shooter, I kind of want to hold a shooter controller.
I know you didn't play single player, but are you aware of what the plot is?
Not too familiar, but if you want to go on and tell me, I'm down to listen.
Like, he's accused of like assassinating like either like the Secretary of State or the president.
I think it's the president.
It's the president. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, because the trailer hints that it's the president.
Yeah, and then it's like, it's kind of like a Memento. You know the movie Memento?
Yeah.
The one that by Christopher Nolan. It's like a story very similar to that narrative where you have the only clue of your life that you have is this like tattoo that says the number 13 on it in Roman numerals.
Right.
And you're just trying to figure out your life from there.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So like I said, I don't remember too much of it just because I was not the person physically playing it, but I did enjoy watching that game for PlayStation 2 for me.
Yeah, no, cool.
Yeah.
So the story is just you trying to figure out who did it?
Yeah. Figure out everything that happened.
Cool. I'm intrigued. I'm probably going to play it.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting remake, for sure.
I wonder if David Duchovny will come back.
That's my one question. I
mean, what's he doing?
It's one of the reasons why I remember that, like, I remember 13 so well. It's just because he's, like, the actor for it.
You and I remember it for very different reasons.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, so, I mean, We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, he's not doing anything, right? So they can get him.
I don't think so.
He's probably not expensive either.
Not anymore, at least.
Yeah, exactly. Like at peak X-Files, he's probably like super expensive.
All right. This has been your episode of Xbox modded PS2 corner.
Yep, thanks for listening to that part.
Yep.
Okay, so Star Wars Celebration happened in Chicago.
A lot of things announced.
Yeah,
and then
on top of the movies, they announced Jedi Fallen Order, which is from Respawn.
Yes.
Which they described as a single player only, no multiplayer, no microtransactions, which I thought was interesting, because EA doesn't really play by those rules, but Respawn was like, yeah, EA never touched this. It was all us internally. I was like, great. This is awesome.
Yeah. Yes, I remember there was that worry that this was like a completely canceled. Sorry. Star Wars had canceled a game, and then there was a worry that like this was gonna be next in cancellation, and it wasn't. So
yeah, which is great because
yes,
it's about time that they've made a single player Star Wars game under their license, and
yeah,
I think
it's gonna be really exciting.
I heard this is EA's last chance. So if they don't make it, then if they don't sell well with this game, then they lose the license. But I know they signed a 10-year deal, and we're like 6 years, 5 years into it? 5 years, I think.
Yeah. Man, the thing though is that if this does do well, then EA just reaps the benefits, because technically, like Respawn, because then EA is the distributor, the publisher for it. So it's like they're gonna reap all the benefits if this game does well.
Ugh, like I get it, but I really want Disney to license the Star Wars property to like every developer, because I feel like there's a lot of potential instead of keeping it all in one place.
Yeah.
Like I would like to see what Double Fine would do with the license. That'd be interesting.
Oh, that would be really interesting.
Or like Campo Santo or whoever.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if Disney's gonna go in the direction of like smaller indie studios anymore, because they're Disney, of course.
Yep, gotta make their Fox money back.
Truer words have been said.
Yeah, so that's cool. Excited for that.
Yeah, it actually does look. It does seem promising.
Yeah, no gameplay footage was released. So I'm just like, okay, tell me when it comes out and I'll watch it.
Yep.
Come back to me when it's done.
Yep, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Also the Smash Brothers Joker from Persona 5 announcement came out, along with Smash Bros 3.0, which is basically like a video editor, level editor, like a bunch of Mii fighter skins, which looks cool. Joker from Persona 5 is available now. You can go get him on the Nintendo store. You can also buy the fighter pass, which is like $24, I think, and you can get him and the 4 other fighters that are yet to be announced. So that's exciting. I think it's really cool that they included him, but also a bunch of music tracks from Persona games.
I know. Which is like some of the best soundtracks in video game history.
Yeah, that was actually my first time hearing those songs when I watched the trailer, because I've never played a Persona game before. And I was like, wow, this is pretty jazzy and upbeat, and I think it really fits the Smash theme well. And
yes,
Joker as a character looks really cool.
Oh yeah, no matter what, Joker is super badass. And I've said this plenty of times when Persona 5 came out. What's really cool about the Joker's character in Persona 5 is that he's a protagonist who actually speaks throughout the game versus being a passive protagonist. So it just like makes his character so much better and so much more elusive and defined.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's out now. I think I finished downloading it. I have to go check my Switch. I downloaded it yesterday, but I haven't checked since. Yeah, so that was like a really small but concise and Nintendo. What is it called? Nintendo Direct that happened.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Yes. As always.
Yeah. Okay. Any more news, Lisa, before we move on?
Just a really quick news, but I think that Xbox Game Pass is having a deal right now, and it's having a deal with Amazon where you can get 3 months for $1, or like get it for a very discounted price. And I don't know the details regarding that, because if it's through Amazon, then maybe you have to buy something, but I'm sure that it's a good price still, because a lot of articles are saying that it's like a 97% discount.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was directly from GameSpot. So I don't know exactly what the discount, like, because when things are advertised as something for $1, usually there's a catch to it. I don't know what the catch is, but if articles are still saying that this is a good deal, it's probably a good deal. Monster Hunter and The Walking Dead: A New Frontier are on Game Pass.
Oh, cool.
Yes. And Prey as games for April 2019.
Prey, not Pray.
Unless you are celebrating Easter this Sunday, then you are Praying.
I'm gonna be hiding eggs.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, for like my little cousins and stuff.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, every Easter we do it, which is pretty fun.
Nice. I'm gonna sleep in.
You know what? I would actually rather do that.
Yeah. But that is cute, though, for little cousins. That's adorable.
Yeah, give them memories. Things to remember.
Exactly.
Last year I had like the gold egg, so every year we have a golden egg. There's a silver egg and a gold egg. The silver egg has $10 and the golden egg has $20.
Ooh, I knew it. I knew it was money related.
Yeah, but kids don't care about money. They just want chocolate. And if they get money, they're like, I don't know what to do with this. And the parents are like, we know what to do with it. I'm like, well, you're either going to pocket it or you're going to buy them a bunch of candy. Probably going to pocket it. Or like, we're going to put in your college fund or whatever. Which I get, the kids don't really value money when they're really young. But I'm like, you could buy so much candy with that. Just go load up at the Dollar Tree and be like, okay, here's $20 worth of candy. You don't know the discounts you're missing.
I know. Now, before we end this podcast, I'm going to ask you, Jeremy, do you like Peeps? Are you indifferent? Do you
I'm
like
indifferent.
it? Do you hate it?
I'm indifferent. If it's in front of me, like someone gave it to me, I'd eat it. I'm like, yeah, I'm down with eating a Peep. But if I saw it at the store, even if it was on sale, I probably wouldn't buy it. I don't hate them. I'll eat them.
For sure.
Are you a Peep girl?
I think I lean more towards I dislike it. There's something, so I'm a sprinkles girl. I absolutely love sprinkles on shit for my dessert, like cupcakes, cookies. If something has rainbow sprinkles of any kind, I will usually get that. But there's something about sprinkles on a marshmallow that freak me out. So, or like, I just don't like, I don't know what it is about the texture or like whatever, but it's just like, it doesn't have the same effect for me. So, I kind of lean more on the dislike. I think I just prefer my marshmallows with absolutely nothing like attached to it.
Yeah. I mean, if I were to eat a marshmallow or a Peep, I'd rather just eat a marshmallow.
Yes.
It's like
same here.
It's like when people drink like LaCroix or like any of those like fruity waters. Like if I'm gonna drink that, I'd rather just drink
Jeremy,
water.
don't get me fucking started, because I will go off for 2 hours talking about sparkling water.
I know so many damn people who drink that every day, and I'm like, you guys, just drink regular water. They're like, but we want carbonated fizzy drinks. I'm like, then just cut it out and just drink water. Like I don't understand it. I really don't understand it.
So I do get I get that if you used to be addicted to, say, Coke, And I mean the soda, not the thing you snort.
I mean, Coke used to be made with cocaine.
It's true, though. All right. If you were addicted to the drug before, um, and you needed something carbonated, like, I understand sometimes addiction is a slow grind. You know, sometimes you snort things and sometimes you want carbonated stuff. So if you are trying to switch out of carbonated things that have a lot of sugar, then I understand if you are like, you're trying to do like seltzer water or trying to do sparkling water that's flavored. But what irks me is kind of like a replacement of regular water and sparkling water. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Like, if you're getting out of an addiction to soda, why would you keep drinking something that's in between when you could be healthier and just drink straight up water that's not flavored? Like, I don't know a lot about how consumer drinks work or whatever, but I just know that there has to be a little bit of sugar, even though it says no sugar. I mean, even Coke Zero has a little bit of sugar. Come on. Like,
yes.
Although they advertise it as no sugar, I'm sure there's like some weird regulation that they just went under and were like, okay, it's got no sugar. And the FDA was like, okay, it's fine. And then Coke, or yeah, whoever company was like, yeah, it's fine. Ha ha ha. There's actually like 0.5% sugar or whatever. Again,
yeah.
I'm just speculating. We used to work with a guy. Remember, he drank LaCroix all the time.
Oh, I know who this guy is. Who bought the boxes all? Yep.
And I
know this guy.
I'm like, dude, just drink water. Like, I don't understand.
Oh, and then he never drank regular water. He just drank sparkling water.
See, okay, it's gonna like ruin your teeth or whatever. Like, just if you're gonna pay whatever, is it like $15.99 for a box of LaCroix? You could just drink like the office water for free. Like, you'll be saving so much money.
And do you know this, Jeremy? Like, it kind of like if you have diarrhea or if you're constipated or like if you have stomach issues, they say you should drink like a carbonated thing like Sprite or sparkling water. I don't know by the way, I don't know the science behind that at all, but that's what they say.
I'll take that and I'll put it in my pocket. Whatever you say. Okay.
Yeah. Like I can't, I don't know, man. I don't know. So man, fuck LaCroix. Anyways.
Yeah, for real though. Okay, well, I'm done. I could go on too. I just realized I have a lot to say, but I'm done. All right. If you want to find us, you can go to www.downtime.live. You can click on the left-hand side where it says community. Click on that button to join our community, which is our Discord, where we talk about games. You can send us a message live within our little Discord chat room. And you can talk about anything from Marvel movies to anime to Terrace House to Stardew Valley to Yakuza games, announcements, sales. We list everything there. It's pretty cool. We have a small user base that's growing, so please join the good fight. I don't know what we're fighting. We're just informing people.
Join the dark side. No, sorry. Wait. No, I don't want to be the dark side. I'm the good side.
The dark side has cool costumes and weapons, though. I will say that.
And cookies, but no, don't do that.
You want to be a good guys. Don't snort cocaine when you're a really famous actor in Japan and you have a deal with a video game. Don't do that.
No.
If you want to contact us the old-fashioned way, email us at contact@downtime.live. You can also click on our website's form where you can fill out a little form and ask us a question, leave us a comment. You can leave us a comment on YouTube, Podbean. You can leave us a review / comment on iTunes, Apple Music, and we'll read it on the podcast. Any comments, questions, we'll read it on the podcast. Leave us anything about our personal lives, about us, about video games, about anything that we're playing. Even if it's just hey, I love listening to you guys every day. Like we those make us feel really warm and fuzzy inside, and we always like to hear those kinds of things.
Our next gaming podcast is our 100th podcast, so maybe we'll do something interesting. Maybe we won't.
Yeah.
The truth is, maybe we won't.
I mean, last year we were all about milestones and doing all that stuff, but this year, like we said before, we're pretty busy with our personal lives, so it's kind of hard to do things that we want to do with the podcast. But it's a chance for Alyssa and I to kind of catch up which is always nice. And also just talk about video games and stuff that we're playing and gaming news. So just going to let you guys know, we're probably not going to do anything crazy for the 100th podcast, but just know that
it's going to be crazy.
It's been a long ride until this moment, you know? And it's pretty cool that we got to 100. But it's not even happened yet.
You wait.
Watch, we're like super tired during that podcast. We're like, 100.
Bye.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, okay, we're here. Bye.
Yep. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to the 99th episode of Downtime Podcast. Have a good
bye.